Biles as an athlete, but I still don't think that would draw quite the same as the true buzz.
They say some athletes enter a sport, but Caitlin Clark didn't enter Pelican Golf Club, she detonated it. The moment she stepped onto the first tee, the entire atmosphere exploded like a superstar concert. It wasn't a golf tournament anymore, it was a global phenomenon. Thousands of fans, who normally stand quietly in golf lines, were screaming at earthquake-level volume. Fever jerseys, WNBA signs, CC logo posters, suddenly the course was transformed into a basketball arena. And the craziest part? This all happened before she even swung her club. Fans had started yelling her name from the parking lot. As she walked up to the first tee, the energy was so electric that if someone had struck a match, the entire course would have ignited. Caitlin Clark didn't just show up, she owned the moment so completely that the event itself changed identity. As she calmly described her outfit, those smooth jogger-style Nike golf pants, the crisp white polo, the baby blue cropped sweater, the CC logo perfectly positioned for every camera angle, it wasn't fashion, it was branding domination. Every piece of clothing sent a silent, undeniable message: I'm not just here to play. I'm here to expand my empire. Nike's head-to-toe gear glimmered under the Florida sun as if the light itself recognized her importance. And when she casually revealed that her brand-new CC Player Edition golf shoes were still a work in progress and wouldn't be worn until perfected, the crowd realized, she isn't building a career, she's crafting a global legacy with surgical precision. When your name alone can delay a product release because it doesn't meet your standards, you're no longer just an athlete, you're a brand architect. Then Nelly Korda, the world's #1 golfer, described the atmosphere as crazy, highlighting just how violently Clark shook the golfing world. Even seasoned pros admitted that the crowd, the excitement, the noise she generated, was unlike anything seen at a normal Pro-Am. It felt like a championship Sunday, not a casual Wednesday. Every shot was met with concert-level decibels. Phones were raised for every movement as if the audience were witnessing Tiger Woods himself make a comeback. The Golf Channel shifted all coverage from traditional highlights to focus entirely on a basketball superstar learning the game. Why? Because Caitlin Clark is rare, a true phenomenon who can turn any sport into must-watch television. Her presence is an economic engine, a cultural magnet, a crowd generator. Pelican Golf Club witnessed it all live. Fans waved fever jerseys like victory flags. NASCAR driver Carson Hocevar even appeared for a jersey swap. Commentators on air called it the Caitlin Clark effect, and they weren't exaggerating, they were reporting reality. Clark proved she is not just a WNBA superstar, she is a cross-sport phenomenon capable of shattering boundaries. And when she joked with cameras, asking, "Are we doing breakfast ball?" the crowd erupted as if she had just hit a championship buzzer beater. That is power. That is charisma. That is viral magnetism. Then Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull made a dramatic entrance in custom caddy outfits, bringing their locker room energy onto the course. Their banter, roasting, and comedic timing were raw, real, and unfiltered, instant viral gold. Sophie's happy Gilmore swings, Lexi's perfect reads, Clark's sarcastic quips, together, they turned Pelican into a fusion of stand-up comedy and elite athletic performance. When Sophie accidentally hit a fan with a drive and Clark yelled, "Man down," the gallery went wild. The fans' response and Sophie's witty comeback, "Says your wife," had everyone laughing hysterically. This was the side of athletes fans rarely see in the pressure-cooked WNBA environment: authentic chemistry, joy, and unfiltered personality that explodes on social media. And when Clark reached the putting green, the hype was already sky-high. But she elevated it to astronomical levels by sinking a logo putt that sent the gallery into chaos. Then, with cameras zoomed in, the sun glowing behind her, she dropped the ultimate announcement every Fever fan had been waiting for: "I'm 100% healthy. Ready to go." The energy was electric. Injuries, doubts, setbacks, all vanished in an instant. Her calm confidence, her body language, her energy, everything screamed rebirth. Golf's cross-training had strengthened her shoulder, made her movement smoother, and made her follow through pain-free. The medical team was impressed. Fans were relieved. Doubters were silenced. Clark's return was undeniable. She was back, and faster, stronger, and more unstoppable than ever. National broadcasts captured it all. The country witnessed how she transformed a casual pro-am into global headline news. Fever fans chanted 2026 like a prophecy as jerseys waved in the Florida sunshine. Indiana Fever's identity had shifted. With a fully healthy Caitlin Clark, every other WNBA team is officially in danger. And when the LPGA rolled out the red carpet, wall-to-wall coverage, prime pairings, celebrity treatment, the painful contrast was clear. Golf embraces her. The WNBA resists her. Golf elevates her. The WNBA sidelines her. Golf treats her like Tiger Woods-level royalty. The WNBA treats her like a management problem. Even commentators openly criticize the dirty plays and league politics. The mistreatment the WNBA refuses to acknowledge. Sophie Cunningham's "tell them to pay us" line exposed the unresolved CBA tensions. Every moment shouted, "This is how major sports treat superstars. And this is how the WNBA fails to." But Caitlin? Caitlin stood there. Healthy. Confident. Stronger. Smiling. Owning every inch of Pelican Golf Club like a queen returning to her throne. She didn't just transform a golf event, she transformed the narrative of her own legacy. But nothing, and absolutely nothing, hit harder than the moment the entire golf world stopped breathing just to watch a basketball superstar do something no one expected. Clark didn't just walk into that LPGA Pro-Am. She detonated a moment that felt bigger than the event itself, bigger than the sport, and bigger than anything anybody there thought they would witness on a quiet Florida morning. The instant she stepped onto the fairway, wearing that baby blue Nike fit with the CC logo shining under the sun like it was announcing a new era, the energy flipped. What should have been a simple celebrity round became a full-blown cultural moment that dominated every camera, every headline, every cell phone recording, every commentator conversation, and every fan reaction online. The galleries weren't just packed, they were overflowing like a championship parade, people elbow to elbow, phones raised, chanting like they were at a Final Four showdown instead of a Wednesday golf event. Caitlin Clark wasn't swinging a driver, she was swinging influence, momentum, and a kind of once-in-a-generation gravitational pull that warped the entire event around her. Even before she hit her first tee shot, fans were yelling her name with raw emotion, some in basketball jerseys, some holding CC signs, some literally shaking because they couldn't believe the person who changed women's basketball was now changing golf by simply being there. Nelly Korda, an actual world number one, an icon of her own sport, looked around and admitted the atmosphere was crazy. Think about that. A legend in golf, someone who plays in major championships, someone used to tens of thousands of spectators, had to pause and acknowledge, this felt different. And it did. When Clark stood over that ball, even the wind felt like it quieted down to give her space. Reporters weren't focusing on the LPGA stars they usually cover. The Golf Channel wasn't rotating through standard Pro-Am highlights. All attention flowed to one place, the rookie WNBA star who, somehow, generated more electricity with one practice swing than most pros do in a full round. Every time she pulled a club from her bag, fans screamed like she'd just drained a Logo 3. People who had never watched golf in their lives were suddenly tweeting, "Why is this event so hype?" And the answer was simple, Caitlin Clark walked in. But that's the thing, Clark doesn't merely walk into any space. She changes the temperature. She changes the stakes. She changes the meaning of the moment. And that electric shift hit its peak the second Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull arrived in custom caddy outfits, strutting across the fairway like they were walking into a tunnel before a playoff game. It wasn't forced. It wasn't scripted. It was friendship. Real chemistry. Locker room energy transported onto a golf course. These three weren't just teammates, they were a trio of personalities who knew how to entertain, how to compete, and how to make everything feel bigger. When they started roasting each other, laughing between shots, hyping each swing like they were courtside at Assembly Hall again, fans got something they rarely see, the unfiltered, unprotected, unedited humanity of their favorite players. Clark freaking out about squirrels, Sophie talking trash, Lexi giving real putting advice, every second became instant clip material. Social media didn't walk, it ran. Clips of them laughing, screaming, joking, coaching, reacting, it exploded everywhere in minutes, then, chaos. Beautiful, viral, unforgettable chaos. Sophie blasted a drive and accidentally smacked a fan. Clark screamed man down. The crowd roared. Sophie ran over apologizing. The fan grinned and said, it was worth it. Without missing a beat, Sophie fires back, says your wife, and the entire gallery lost its mind. It was comedy. It was peak entertainment. It was the kind of viral authenticity the WNBA never lets fans see because everything is so tightly controlled. But on the golf course? This was raw, real, unfiltered personality that fans crave, and in the middle of all the comedy, Clark started quietly cooking. Lexi's putting reads locked in. Sophie's yardage calls suddenly made sense. Clark sank a series of iron shots and putts that felt like glimpses into the competitor she always is, even when the sport isn't basketball. She wasn't just participating. She was analyzing, learning, adjusting, dominating. With each hole, her confidence grew not just in golf, but physically. Her shoulder movement looked fluid. Her swings looked strong. Her follow-through was crisp. She wasn't protecting anything. She wasn't hesitating. She wasn't limping through pain like she had during that brutal stretch of the WNBA season. And then the moment hit. The moment that silenced every rumor, every worry, every whisper about her health. On the putting green, after draining a putt that sent the crowd into pure chaos, Clark turned to the Golf Channel cameras with a calmness that only superstars possess. And she dropped the update fever fans had been desperate for since the injuries piled up months earlier, back to 100%. Those 3 words detonated across the internet faster than any highlight. The crowd screamed. Fans online melted down. Reporters scrambled. WNBA circles panicked or celebrated depending on their loyalty. The timing was surgical. The setting was intentional. Clark wasn't announcing her health on some WNBA press call where the league could soft pedal it. She announced it in a different sport, on a national broadcast, with a massive crowd chanting behind her. She chose a stage where she controlled the spotlight, where she controlled the narrative, where nobody above her could minimize the moment. And she didn't just say she felt good, she said she was fully healthy. Completely recovered from the groin issue. Past the bone bruise. Past everything that limited her season. Past everything that made fans hold their breath every time she stepped awkwardly or grabbed her ankle, the golf swing had helped her rehab. The cross-training restored her balance, mobility, and shoulder strength. She looked free. Confident. Powerful. And the golf world embraced her recovery like she was their own. Meanwhile, the WNBA, where she had been targeted, battered, and minimized, suddenly looked like the smaller sport in comparison. Because what happened next wasn't just golf reacting. It was golf celebrating. The LPGA gave her star-level treatment. Fans chanted about the Fever's future. People screamed for 2026 before she even finished the hole. And through it all, Clark smiled with that expression that says, just wait. I'm not done yet. Her presence overshadowed the field, not because of ego, but because of impact. Every woman in sports felt it. Every young fan felt it. Every teammate standing beside her felt it. Clark had found a stage that amplified her instead of restricting her. A sport that welcomed her instead of being threatened by her. A league that showcased her instead of controlling her. Nothing about the day was ordinary. Not the fans. Not the energy. Not the media coverage. Not the sisterhood among Clark, Sophie, and Lexi. Not the viral chaos. Not the announcement. Not the reaction. And that's why this moment hit harder than anything else. Because for the first time in months, fans didn't just see Clark play. They saw her free. They saw her laughing. They saw her healthy. They saw her strong. They saw her dominant. They saw her bigger than the league that keeps trying to shrink her, and once that image was etched into the minds of millions, Caitlin Clark, healthy again, smiling, energetic, surrounded by teammates who adore her, embraced by a sport that celebrates her. The entire narrative around women's sports shifted in real time. If you thought one day at a golf course couldn't rewrite the narrative of an entire league, Caitlin Clark just proved you dead wrong. From the moment Clark's ball first rolled across the green to the instant she declared herself fully healthy and ready to dominate again. The Pelican Golf Club had become more than a venue, it was the proving ground for a superstar's unstoppable narrative. Every single swing, every laugh with Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull, every playful jab, every perfectly calculated club adjustment, every cheering fan, every chant of 2026. All of it combined into a spectacle that no WNBA press conference could ever recreate. Clark's presence wasn't just about showing up, it was about shaking the foundations of sports culture itself. The golf course had become a megaphone for her brand, her recovery, her leadership, and her cross-sport influence, all wrapped into one unforgettable viral moment. Every camera angle, every social media clip, every highlight that circulated online screamed the same undeniable truth. Caitlin Clark isn't merely a basketball player, she is a phenomenon. And any organization lucky enough to embrace her will instantly benefit from her orbit. When Clark casually moved between shots, laughed with her friends, and coached herself through difficult putts, it wasn't just athleticism on display, it was charisma, marketability, and the magnetic pull of a superstar who transcends one sport. Even casual viewers who had never followed the fever, never watched a WNBA game, and never paid attention to women's athletics found themselves glued to their screens, mesmerized. Social media erupted instantly as clips of Clark sinking shots, joking with teammates, and exchanging playful banter with fans went viral, gathering millions of views within hours. The combination of her unfiltered personality, technical skill, and leadership presence created content that no traditional sports network could manufacture. The LPGA recognized this immediately, granting her prime coverage, pairing her with top players like Nelly Korda, and providing an environment that treated her like the celebrity athlete she truly is. Every handshake, every smile, every encouraging word she exchanged with teammates and fans only amplified her effect. The entire event became a lesson in how to maximize star power, fan engagement, and narrative control, something the WNBA has struggled to understand in the face of her immense talent. Clark's announcement of being fully healthy was the pivot point of the day, but it wasn't just about recovery, it was about reclaiming narrative dominance. Her groin injury, the ankle bone bruise, the months of uncertainty, all of it had weighed heavily on fans, teammates, and league commentators. By using the golf course as a platform, she bypassed traditional channels that often minimized her achievements and controlled her story. She delivered her update in front of a massive crowd, national cameras, and an audience of millions online, demonstrating total confidence, strength, and composure. The visual of her celebrating after a perfectly executed putt, fans chanting behind her, and cameras capturing every reaction created a moment that will be replayed across social media for years. Every professional analyst commenting on her performance, from the Golf Channel to mainstream news outlets, highlighted the stark contrast between how the LPGA embraced her and how the WNBA continues to struggle to fully recognize her value. Clark had effectively used one day, one performance, one platform to communicate volumes. She is bigger than injuries, bigger than any single league, and bigger than the limitations that others try to place around her. The effect extended beyond her personal brand to her teammates, the Fever organization, and women's sports as a whole. Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull, by participating fully and bringing their locker room energy to the course, benefited from the spotlight in ways that traditional basketball media rarely provides. Their chemistry and authentic friendship with Clark became a viral sensation, showcasing the depth of relationships